Coming up next on Activate Live, learn what recent National Labor Relations Board decisions mean for union organizing and workers' rights. And we'll introduce you to the Machinists Union's new Director of Organizing. That's next on Activate Live.
Activate your voice!
Activate it now.
Voice activation.
Live from Maryland, this is Activate Live.
Happy New Year and welcome to Activate Live. I'm Tanya Hutchins, a communications representative here at the Machinists Union. Well, this year, once again, we have a chance to make our voices heard, activate our voices when it comes to workers' rights and the freedom to join together in union so we can negotiate together for a fair return on our work. Well, if you're making any New Year's resolutions, we hope one of them is to attend more union meetings. Now, you can see that that's where you get to learn about what's going on in your union, your company, and in the labor movement. Yay, there's our cartoon. Mm-hmm. So let us know what your New Year's resolutions are in the comments, or if you even make them. One of mine is to be more organized this year. I think I'm organized, but I think there's always room for improvement. Well, Delane Adams is joining us now with the latest IAM news. Delane, do you make any New Year's resolutions?
I want to collect more gear from locals across North America. More IAM gear.
One from every local in the
One from every local. So if you're out there listening and you feel like you need to, send some extra gear over to headquarters, we will proudly wear it on the show.
Oh, that's great.
And announce it as well. So
excellent. I can help you out. I think I probably have maybe 5 to 10 local shirts and a couple districts. I like the neon yellow one, so I always go for those first.
Okay. Yeah.
So what's going on?
A lot. We here at headquarters and across North America, we never stop working. Recently, members participated in Wreaths Across America Day. That was a couple weeks ago at Arlington National Cemetery. As many out there know, this is a day to remember fallen veterans and honor those who have served. And so machinists came out in full force, including IAM Local 24 members from Andrews Air Force Base and also members of our executive council here.
I was out there as well. It was a cold day, but well worth it. So many people. We were waiting in lines.
Yeah, it was great pictures from the event. And again, it was just being able to, honor those who had served and those who had fallen.
Definitely a rewarding experience.
Yeah. And we've been in the news. President Martinez was recently quoted in Bloomberg BNA, an article written by Jacqueline Diaz, on the surge of companies alleging that as a result of the new tax plan passing, that they'll hand out bonuses to workers. And it's our belief that the proof is in the pudding. Until these companies really start handing out these bonuses personally, then we'll see if that'll happen. So
all right, I'll keep an eye on that as well.
So yeah, please check that out. And we've been putting that out on social media. So
okay, yeah. And anything else going on?
Well, I'm glad our General Counsel, Mark Schneider, is here. A lot of stuff happening with NLRB, so I'm glad I don't have to talk about that. I'll let the expert talk about that.
Mark is sitting right over there, so he'll be here in a minute.
So, yeah, we love Mark and everybody in this shop for keeping us straight. And then also just congratulations to our members at Six Flags at Magic Mountain on their new agreement. And Magic Mountain, for those of you who don't know, it's in Valencia, California, and so our members out there, maintain the rides, and congratulations on that agreement. It's always good to have a great agreement.
That's right. We're glad that it's our members that are making sure that everybody's safe out there.
We got to go check it out one day.
Yes. See? We'll have to talk to our boss about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe I can get a new shirt.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you so much, Delane. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keeping us up to date.
All right.
And just a reminder that you can comment at any time during the show on what we're discussing. Some people already have, some of you, and we appreciate that. We may even read your comment on the show. Well, last month, and that's where you can comment right there on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Even if it's during a replay, you can still comment. So we appreciate that, and we love your comments. Last month, the Oregon AFL-CIO held a rally to support new machinist union members at Precision Cast Parts. About 100 welders joined the machinist union, but IAM representatives have not been allowed to conduct safety inspections inside the plant, and the company has refused to recognize union stewards or rights. Well, the IAM has filed unfair labor practice charges against the company. A few days before that rally, the National Labor Relations Board issued a decision overruling a 2011 decision about what constitutes an appropriate bargaining unit. Well, to turn all of this legalese into English, IAM General Counsel Mark Schneider joins us to break it all down for us. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too. So what does this dispute have to do with the recent NLRB decision?
Well, everything. The recent NLRB decision caused this dispute. The president finally put together a board with a majority of his people on it, and they've been very active. They've produced 4 or 5 decisions overturning important Obama board decisions, and this is one of them. This case is one of them. This was a case about the appropriate bargaining unit, and what that means is this. When a group of workers get together and they want a union and they want the benefits that a union brings, they can petition and they can get recognition from the company.
And we have this Section 9A up on the screen
There
right
we go.
now.
And it talks about the unit has to be a unit appropriate for the purposes of collective bargaining. Now, obviously, when 100 welders get together and say we want a union, it's pretty clearly appropriate, or they wouldn't have got together in the first place. What they discovered, what the Obama board found, is employers are taking advantage of this, and they were contesting the units all the time. They were saying, "Oh, I don't think it's the appropriate unit. Maybe it should be not the welders, but the welders and some other people, or maybe it should be not just the welders, but a smaller group." And they would cause extensive delay. And what this case is about, and what a lot of what you see is about, is delay. And the Obama board acted, and what it said was this: if a group of workers get together and they obviously have a community of interest, it's just to say they have come together for a reason, we're going to assume that's an appropriate unit, not the appropriate unit, not the most appropriate unit, but an appropriate unit, as the law says. Now, if an employer wants to come and object, they have to have a very good reason to object. We're not going to entertain pointless objections about the exact unit size. We're going to trust the employee's own interest for joining together in a union. That was fine, and it eliminated delay. Now the Trump board is in, and one of the first things it did is it struck that rule, and it used our case to do it. And what it did instead is it said, no, we're going to decide what's really the most appropriate unit. And the employer thinks, in this case, it shouldn't just be 100 welders who have, and these groups of craft units were one of the most traditional units there are. But they said, no. We've got many employees in over 2,500 classifications. They should all be in the unit. Forget what the employees wanted union. Everybody should be in the unit. The board said, yeah, you're right. We shouldn't just trust the workers to decide what they think the appropriate unit is. We should have a hearing. And they sent it back to the regional director in that region, and he's going to probably hold a hearing. Doesn't have to, but probably will hold a hearing. And what this is about is delay. Instead of sitting down and bargaining with the welders who voted overwhelmingly for a union, now we're going to have proceedings at the NLRB about whether maybe it should be a group larger than the welders or some other kind of group. And
who came up with the term micro unit? Because we hear that term sometimes.
The employers did.
Okay.
The employers attacked everything the Obama board did, and they said, oh, no, we're talking about now little teeny units that are completely unnatural, that the unions just could come in and disrupt with a few people. Well, it's not about micro units. This is about delay. I mean, we have 100 welders here. There's not something micro about 100 welders. That's a real unit of classic craft unit. So all this talk about micro units as if it's some weird union plot to just send 1 or 2 workers into a union, it's not the case. This is about when the workers sit as a craft and decide we want a union, they should be allowed to get to business, bargain with the employer. This employer has refused to bargain now. and said, oh, we think it should be some different unit. And now what has to happen, and is already happening, is these workers have to stick together in spite of this bad ruling and fight it out and wait it out and wait out the new NLRB until they get what they want, which is a union.
One of the things I wanted to ask you is, why do unions and workers often have to go to court to get things done? Why aren't labor laws just enforced?
Yeah, this is, one of the other things that the Obama board did was create whole new election rules that shortened the election time period. And the hope was it would stop employer delay and workers could get what they wanted and needed when they wanted and needed it. And it had some good effect. And one of the things this new NLRB is going to do is going to probably look at these rules and probably gut them. But one thing we found when the new rules were in place is it wasn't translating into victories for working people as much as we had hoped. And that's because the labor law itself is in bad need of reform. It's one of the oldest regulatory agencies, and the way it works, unlike most agencies today, is if an employer just says no, even though the workers have said, we want to be a unit, we want to bargain with you, even though the NLRB says, yeah, you're right, it's a good unit, you should bargain, the employer can still just sit on its hands and do nothing and wait for a court case. And it could be years before the employees finally get what they're entitled to, which is a union. And frequently, often, and terribly, and this is why employers do it, the union can't hold together for years. And by the time we finally get an order from a court declaring the obvious, which is we have a right to sit as a group and organize, it's too late. The union, the workers have been fired, they've been otherwise dissipated, and there's no unit. So we need to fight this fight about alleged micro units and let the employees, when they decide they want to join together in a union, to have their way. We need to fight the larger fight against defending the Obama rules on short elections. And in the end of the day, we need labor law reform in the country.
When it comes to labor law reform, what can our members do to help?
Plenty. Labor law reform is going to come out of the Congress. And I'm being candid with you, there's labor law reform proposals in front of the Congress now, but this particular Congress is not going to pass any union-friendly, worker-friendly labor law reform. We know that. But change is coming, I believe that. Change could be coming as soon as November, and we'll see. When the time is right, labor is going to come forward with a reasonable proposal, not a crazy proposal, but a reasonable proposal to bring our labor law in tune with all the other administrative agency laws, so that when the labor board says something, it happens. It doesn't just get delayed for years until courts act on it. And when that time comes, people need to have, our workers, our members, need to let their voices be heard in the Congress. And
that means writing, emailing, calling Congress.
And Tanya, I know you, when that time comes, when we come to you and say it's time to get our people informed and educated and active, that's one of the things our communication department does so well. And the time will come. I hope it comes, if not 2018, 2019. It's due. It's going to happen. It's taken way too long, and our members can definitely help make it happen.
And we will definitely get the word out, because it's very easy to email or call your representative. We help by giving our members the numbers to call. And they like hearing from their constituents, so we need to speak up and activate our voices.
Absolutely. And we know that workers want the benefits that unions bring. They do. And we know that they are continually frustrated and unable to get those benefits more often than not because of the way the law is structured and because of these new decisions of the Trump board. And that has to change. It has to change, and I believe it will change.
Okay, very quickly before you go, what else is going on at the NLRB?
Well, to get a little in the weeds,
okay.
There are 5 members of the National Labor Relations Board.
Okay.
It takes 3 for a majority to rule. We had an Obama majority for really only a couple of years because of a lot of stuff that the Republican Congress had done to Obama. But we had a very productive couple of years. Just end of last year, I forget, October maybe, Trump finally got his 3-person majority.
So it's not worker-friendly anymore.
Not anymore. Although, oddly, the 3rd Republican's term just ended.
Okay.
So right now we're back to 2-2 until Trump picks a third person. But during that few-month period, when he had a 3-2 majority, they did a tremendous amount of damage. This case is a really important one. Another one, I know there's been a lot of activity organizing fast food workers, for example, and the employers there made a big point of saying, well, we're not the employer, we're just McDonald's. There's thousands of franchisees that are the real employer, even though McDonald's is calling all the shots. Well, the Obama board had tried to work with that and created a joint employer standard that was contemporary so that the real employer could be bargained with, brought to justice. That went away.
Okay.
And 2 or 3 other equally important Obama board decisions went away. And unfortunately, sometime probably in the first quarter of this year, when he gets the 5th appointment and there's again a 3-person majority, we're going to see a wholesale attack on not only the Obama board precedents, but on older precedents, because it's pretty clear what their game plan is right now, and it's to empower employers and unempower working people. And it's going to be that way until working people stand up. And it's why I say I have every confidence they will when it matters.
Okay, well, let everybody know when the time is to speak up and speak out and let their representatives know how they feel. And when I say worker friendly, I'm saying giving fair rulings, giving workers a fair shot. Right. Not lopsided one way or the other.
We're not really putting a thumb on the scale. The only thumb on the scale Congress put on the scale when it passed the first labor law, and it said that we want to promote collective bargaining when the employees want it, because collective bargaining is a principal way to address what was a problem in the 1930s and remains a problem, inequality of wealth in this country. And to give workers roughly, at least partially equal footing to employers so they can bargain for good wages so that the money that their work brings goes, some of it, into their pockets. That's the law. That needs to be enforced, and we're not asking for a thumb on the scale. That we're just saying when workers want a union, they should be able to have a union, and not with silly rules about what's the proper unit or the most perfect unit or whether someone is an employee as it was considered in 1935 or any of the other impediments that employers have put in the way and that the NLRB at times has encouraged.
And you said it's the only agency where you may have to go to court to get them to rule.
It's the one that it's the most famous of these agencies where even in the face of an agency ruling that the employees are entitled at least to bargain with the employer, not to get anything, just to bargain with the employer, sit down in the room, which is what these workers wanted in this case. The employer won't even talk to them. And until that is allowed to happen, when the employees vote to have a union, when 100 welders sit together and say, listen, I know I'm taking a risk here, but I'm stepping up and saying I want a union, and when a vast majority of them say, we agree, we want a union, all we're asking for is in that situation, the employer should have to sit down and talk to them.
Exactly.
And that's not happening today, and that's a terrible injustice, and that needs to be fixed. And like I say, I'm an optimistic person. It will be fixed. It's going to take hard work and time. And in the meantime, and our members know this, and the people we organize knows this, we just have to keep bearing down and fighting the odds and organizing. And we're having some good success at that in spite of all these odds.
We are. Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And I'm sure if people want more information about the NLRB, you can go to their website, the NLRB.org or .gov.
NLRB.gov, yes.
NLRB.gov if you want any further information. And you can actually see some of the rulings and the rules on the website.
Yeah, and it's always possible to reach our legal department as well.
That's right. And it should be a general chair, right? Or
right. Go through your business rep or general chair, and we have a lot of information, and we're, we'd rather not be involved in this case. We'd rather this case never happened. But this is an important case, and we are all over it, and we're hopeful in the end of the day, after the unfortunate delay, we're going to win this case.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm
going
to think positive thoughts.
Think
Thanks.
positive thoughts.
Thanks. Well, as you've heard, organizing is a top priority at the Machinists Union. We like to say that we are all organizers, fighting for livable wages, good benefits, and a voice on the job. Now, if you ever come to headquarters, you may see some of the pamphlets that we hand out, and I have one here that's called IAM Members Live Better. And when you flip through this, it tells you a brief description of your union at work. It lets you get to know the IAM, tell you the power of a union contract, about shop stewards, local lodges, business reps, what we do, because we are across all sectors, aerospace workers, manufacturing, public employees, automotive employees, transportation workers. So we have lots of information for you. Let me open up one of them just so I can show you. So many members across all of these sectors. And it's a new year, and we have a new organizing director of organizing. After the retirement of Don Barker, Vinny Addeo joins us now. Welcome, Vinny.
Thank you very much.
He's a fellow New Yorker. I've got to put that up there,
New Jersey.
All right. See, I was born in New York. I was born in Queens, grew up in White Plains. What part of Jersey?
Hoboken.
Hoboken. All right. Not too far. Well, we would like to get to know you a little bit, introduce you to our membership and even the viewers who are watching who are not our members. But tell us, how did you first learn about unions?
First, before I even begin, it was very difficult for me to sit and listen to our general counsel, Mark Schneider, speak about the specialty healthcare overruling. Just sitting there, I was just rehashing so many different cases that this applied to some of our organizing successes and how I see this as a roadblock going forward. But to get back on track,
we're going to fight it, though.
Yes,
keep
we
up
are.
The fight.
We are. I was initiated into the IAM in 1980. I was 20 years old. I just graduated from aviation school.
Oh, we got a picture of you way back when.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
How'd you get that picture?
Little birdie gave it to me.
Anyway, yeah.
What were you doing back then? Like, what was your position?
Back then, I was an aircraft technician. I was, actually, that's at U.S. Airways. I started U.S. Airways in 1985. I originally was initiated into Local 702 of the IAM in Miami International Airport for Eastern Airlines.
Okay. Better weather down there.
Yes, for sure. And then the demise of Eastern Airlines, I was able to reposition myself with a position as an aircraft technician for U.S. Airways.
Okay, it's a good job.
Absolutely, great job.
Now, what caused you to get more involved in the union?
A little bit was because of my natural character, asking why this guy's being treated different than that guy and all that kind of stuff. And eventually, some of the older guys with more seniority took an interest in me and thought I would be a good representative. And I started off as a shop steward and then worked my way up as a local committee chairman for Newark Airport. And then, the story goes
Got
on.
more involved,
yes.
more involved. That is a key position, though, shop steward. I mean, you must have seen a lot of different incidents where you had to, that's the front line there with the shop stewards.
The shop steward is essentially the most important position in our union. I truly believe that to this day. He's the one or she's the one with the personal contact with the membership and the first line of communication to their business agent, general chair, or whoever their representative is at that particular company.
And oftentimes you have a great shop steward in a location. That makes all the difference when you come in as a business rep or anyone who's trying to talk to the membership and improve conditions.
For sure. When you have an effective shop steward in your shop, the members are educated, they're up as to what's going on, they're in tune with the collective bargaining agreement, and there's a lot less questions that come back to the business agents and the general chairs.
Looking back on some of the organizing campaigns, what do you think, oh my gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm trying to get to best practices on the organizing campaigns. When you have new organizers that are coming in, we have a good program where we have apprentices coming in, we have good role models. What are some of the best practices that you look for when you're organizing?
Organizing, to me, comes natural to a person. I don't believe you can teach someone how to organize effectively, but I think it has to be part of their natural character. You have to be a very humble person, one who looks at people straight in the eye, someone who's trustworthy, and someone who truly believes and has a passion for what they're doing. You can't do organizing as a job. It has to be your passion and what you truly believe in, because you are actually doing the justice to help people out there who don't have the rights and the representation that they should have. And many people actually don't know what their rights are until a good organizer can educate them on what their rights are.
And that, you're right, and educating them also about what the union can do for them. I know some people don't even realize they're organizing if they're in a non-union shop and they're talking to their fellow workers and they're saying, hey, this should be better, this isn't right, we should do something about this. That's like the spark of organizing right there.
For sure. Many people might tend to believe that people organize because for better wages, for benefits, work rules, which traditionally are some of the key components of organizing campaigns. But the number one reason why people organize is for respect. I can tell you that over 90% of the organizing leads that have come my way over the years are simply because workers were being mistreated by their management, were being disrespected, or being discriminated against. And over time, the workers have got together collectively and said enough is enough, and they come forward to seek out a union. And again, primarily to just be treated with respect and dignity that they deserve.
That is key. They say a lot of good people leave places if the conditions aren't good. But if you have a good place to work, good working conditions, people can stay there for years.
That's true. And that's what I tell people when we're organizing campaigns. There's no reason to leave here. Let's make this a career job. And let's bring the union in here and let's have an equal seat at the table and try to bring in something that's fair and essential for the workers there. At the same token, what's fair for the company. We're not looking to run the companies out of business because then we would have no members. So our goal is to reach a fair and equitable agreement for our members.
It's 2018. We're making New Year's resolutions, and no joke, my New Year's resolution is to be more organized. I was saying that earlier, but and to help organizing department. What are some of your goals this year? I know you're hitting the ground running. I know you just got here, but what are some of your goals?
My number one goal is to organize as a union, to bring all the territories together across the country, along with our organizing department, and work as a cohesive team. And I believe that will bring the most success that we can possibly get. And that's my goal. Of course, we have a lot of opportunity out there. We have some really good organizing targets that we're looking for 2018. As a matter of fact, our international president has stressed over and over again, not only to the territories, but also to the districts and locals, that organizing is our number one priority. And it's going to be our job to carry that message through to the rest of our members, and that's going to be what we're going to be doing.
That's right. Each one of us can help.
For sure.
We appreciate you being here. If you stay just for 1 second, we're going to check the comments here. If I can figure out how to use my little stylus here, I'm going to go through them because we've had a lot of people so far who have been... I'm going to ask Brian Collis to come over here. Is he still here? Hold on. I'm looking through right now, and I'm just going to read a few of the comments. You know what? Maybe I should just use my finger. There we go. See? Bob Wood came over. And I'm looking for... There we are. Hang on. I'm just so glad our viewers are so patient. So if you have any comments, you could do it on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Here we go. We've got Juan Eldridge saying, organizing department, go. Dave Lehives joining us. Fabian Leando, great job explaining. Now we need to compress this and educate our membership ASAP. Natalie Gonzalez says Happy New Year. Ramon Garcia saying get out the vote. That'll make a big difference, especially this fall. William Addig, he said I'll make sure to get a polo shirt. He's talking about Delane Adams. He's going to get him one. And Ramon Garcia is saying organize, organize, organize. So we appreciate all of you for commenting, and you can continue to comment and tell us what you think about what you've heard today about organizing, about labor law reform on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Vinny, thank you so much. Welcome to the IAM headquarters in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks. Well, looking ahead at our calendar, if you're an IAM member who's interested in taking our basic web development class, the deadline is January 12th. You have a little over a week to register. Now, this class is designed for lodges just beginning new websites or those transitioning to WordPress from either front page or Expression Web. This class is actually in March, so register by January 12th. You must be the person responsible for maintaining the new website, and for more information, you can visit our website, goiam.org, and search Basic Web. And I also want to let you know that on our website, right next to the home button, there is a button that says Get Organized. So if you're working in a non-union shop and you're having issues and you would like to contact the IAM, just go to our website, goiam.org, and then right next to that home button to the right there is that button that says Get Organized. You just press that button and you'll have all the information that you need to reach our organizing department, and then we can help you from there. That is it for this week. Next week, we'll have a preview of the AFL-CIO Martin Luther King Jr. Civil and Human Rights Conference. Let us know if you'll be there in Houston. If so, I will see you there. So thank you for watching, and if you like what you've seen in this video, tell us what topic you liked, and please share this video. See you then.